And this year's Freedom Honor Flight took 90 Vietnam War veterans, 70 Korean War veterans, and one World War II veteran all to Washington, D.C. in order to see the memorials that stand in their honor. But for the first time, a veteran who once guarded the tomb of the unknown soldier was on that flight. News 19's Danny Smith spent the day with him as he returned to the tomb he once guarded 50 years ago.
Carl Fisher, better known as Jim, is retired and living a simple life in Holman.
Pretty much raised down by Stoddard on a farm, and went to Central, went to lacrosse for schools.
A normal guy with a not-so-typical past.
So I spent 2.5 years over that at the Honor Guard, and the last year was at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. So
the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier serves as a symbolic grave for all of those killed in war whose remains have not been found or identified. You can see 20-year-old Jim guarding the sacred tomb back in 1973.
The tomb is probably the main thing that sticks with me because it was such an honor.
Now, 50 years later, he is returning to his former post, thanks to the Freedom Honor Flight.
The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard.
21 steps, the clicking of the heels, and the gun salute, a strict routine that remains the same today. Things that Jim remembers fondly.
It brings back a lot of memory, but it's also kind of like I'm just still flattered at the way they conducted all that with their timing and all their stuff, you know what I mean? And it was that way in my day.
A trip back in time that is even more special with his son Carl by his side.
Oh, it's been great. I mean, it's like one of these things that I've always wanted to do, you know, and had the opportunity to do it, and you know, it's wonderful.
Carl says his dad hasn't been one to brag about his service.
He showed me pictures of Arlington when he guarded here and told me some stories, you know, when I was a young boy. You know, he's a pretty humble guy.
But this trip was about more than just the tomb. Jim and his son got to see several memorials, including the Vietnam War and Korean War monuments.
That I was here 50 years ago, and none of this stuff was here, and it's just first time for me to see it. So it's like it's breathtaking, and all the names each one represents a life, you know.
All of this thanks to the organization that brought them to D.C.
I cannot say enough about the Honor Flight. I think it's just a great program. Very, very honored to be on it, and I just can't thank them all enough.
Reporting in Washington, D.C., Danny Smith, News 19.
Now, Jim's service is memorialized at the tomb. His name is on a plaque in the guard quarters, which is off limits to the public. But as you can see, Jim did get to go inside and see his name on that wall on Saturday.